Well, thanks for joining us this afternoon. I know for some of you, you're wishing you're at the Phoenix Open, but Julie and I appreciate you here at our launch for Cloudcma. Hopefully everyone's got their pen and paper handy. I'm going to go through a little bit of history about Cloudcma and most importantly going to show all of you the best way to pitch it to an agent. If you do have individual questions specific to Cloudcma, don't be afraid to type them and send them to me so that I can answer for the benefit of all on today's webinar. So you're all very familiar as a company that we have the best engagement tools in the planet to get in front of an agent and keep an agent engaged with us as mortgage professionals. One of the things that we were struggling with was when I went on listing presentations, it became evident that most agent partners were very unfamiliar with how to compete for the listing. And that might seem a little strange, but if you guys think about the last 3 to 4 years, most agents' business on the listing side has been won through patience. And let me explain what I mean by that. Patience in the respect that when they went on a listing presentation, they were the poor sap that had to sit there for 3.5 hours in the kitchen listening to the sob story as to why the seller was losing their home. And it seemed that the person that sat there the longest was the one that won the business. So when I'm out there with a lot of the agent partners, they're struggling to remember how they used to present themselves and compete for listings. Truly has come to the forefront. Consumers are much more educated than they were 3 or 4 years ago. And a lot of you would probably agree that technology really has sped up to a point where it has left a lot of the traditional agents sitting in the dust wondering what's going on and is Harman Home still effective and do they have to pay $1,000 for Home Illustrated? And obviously that's where we come in, playing on those foibles with those agent partners that need the help. So we've got this great technology, you all know it, it's eProperties. We show them how to win the listing because they have eProperties. We show them how to use eProperties to get more buyers and sellers. That's great. But the biggest part of their listing presentation that they're failing on is when they're asked the ultimate question is, what's my house worth? Well, as you know, opinions get you into a lot of trouble, so we were looking for a product out there that could give the agents some sex, some sizzle, some major impact, like a Fortune 500 presentation that had some teeth behind it that would present themselves as the ultimate professional compared to their peers in the industry and get the agent away from expressing opinion and showing facts. So that's really the basis behind Cloudcma, and it's kind of the spin that I use when talking to agents and saying, hey, we've got a product that would help you, particularly up front, set yourself apart from your counterparts in your office and in your farm area that would really lend itself to explaining everything that a seller is looking for in terms of their value, marketability of their home, and the agent that's giving the technology to them. So we're very fortunate to have taken on Cloudcma, and I'm going to show you how it works. When I'm talking to agent partners wanting to get them on the phone for a meeting, I always ask them if they're familiar with it. They've heard about it. Some know that there's a watered-down version available free out there, but they don't really understand how to apply it. So I talk to them about it being an amazing prospecting tool. So I'd recommend that you guys, wanting to establish a new relationship with an agent, talk about prospecting. I'm going to show you how to use it as a prospecting tool, how they can use it in open houses, how they can go out into the neighborhood before the open house with a Cloudcma product that will have the sellers calling them for more information. It's a fantastic tool, and I'm going to show you how we're all wrapped up into it. So hopefully you're as excited as we are to have another tool to help our agent partners. And I'm going to get right now into showing you what it does, and then I'll show you how to set it up for your agents if that's okay with you. So what we have here is we actually have, I'm inside an agent's Cloudcma. They're actually their dashboard. So I wanted to show you what it looks like from an agent's perspective. When you're out signing up agents, you can have your own account, but it doesn't really do anything for you because you don't have MLS access. So I'm going to show you what it looks like inside an agent's account. I'm going to show you the reports, and then I'll create one with you live. So let's look inside here. They have a CMA, comparative market analysis, and every single CMA that they have created is available in here. You'll see there's a test here, class 1. There are buyer tours. Buyer tours are really powerful. They actually allow them to put in MLS numbers of the tour they're going to take the buyers on, of homes they're going to show. And it prints out a really amazing product with comments that they can actually send back to the seller as well. We use this section, and when we talk about it in the class of properties, as the perfect tool for helping them with nosy family or nosy neighbors who know that they're an agent and just want to know what their property's worth. There's a simple way of producing a report of what that specific single house is worth. And then there's a section here for creating flyers. So it's very simple. It's very straightforward, as you can see. So let me open up and show you what a single property flyer looks like. This is a property report. This I actually prepared on an old home I owned a few years ago. But this is what is produced on behalf of the person wanting it. This is what it looks like with the agent's information. And this is cut and pasted and created in probably 2 minutes. Right now, you might agree, if you know any agent partners or have seen them do the CMAs take a very long time. Most agents tell me they spend anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half making it right. They don't like the current multiple listing offering by Armless. The pictures don't come over as pretty. They're cutting and pasting. They're adapting it. They're making it look the way they want it to. But I think you can agree this is a great little report. Puts in the schools, and it really does take them less than 2 minutes to create simply from an address. And as you get familiar with Cloudcma, you'll actually learn that agents can drive by a property that they're interested in for your local restaurants and actually email themselves the address, and the Cloudcma will create an email back to them, a CMA or an online valuation estimate of this property. So here you go, based on Zillow, as estimate, and then the price range, and the agent's recommendation of true value for that property. So I think it's an invaluable tool for them. So that's just one example. That's the single property example of, the nosy neighbor calls up and just wants to know what their specific property is worth. This one here is your a simple property flyer that they can create on the house. Pretty basic. Got the QR codes all built into it. And then we have a buyer tour. I really like this. This buyer tour is so simple and so easy to use. And you can customize it with the client's name, the information. You can send this the night before in an email link. There's a home buying process section here. There's a map of where they're going, the price ranges they're looking at, and here's where it gets really special. Look at this, guys. Much better, much cleaner, much crisper than what is available in the current MLS formats. And then there's even a section created. They can put stars and comments that can be handed in. Any of you guys that are doing MLS tours, this is what I would encourage you using if you want to become the tour director for your local MLS, because you could put these in the night before, create these books, print them, and hand them out at your Cave Creek MLS tour, so on and so forth. There are loan scenarios. This section, just want you to be aware of, is no longer available. It comes in with the Zillow Mortgage Marketplace, but we're creating a section for you to actually put in your mortgage information. So that's a feature that we've turned off because obviously we want to be promoting us and not Zillow. And there's a walk score created for this, the area schools for the areas that these guys are looking at. And I think you'll agree this is a very powerful, very crisp way of presenting information. And in the last few classes that we've shown it at, even the seasoned die-hard agents, the curmudgeons out there are like, ooh, this is really cool. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the buyer report the agent's going to create is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a finalized true CMA that we've done. I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'm going to walk you through the process of actually creating one, signing an agent up, all in one step. So check this out, guys. This is what can be emailed the night before, shared, Facebook, made totally viral, or printed off by your agent partners. And it legitimately, when you see it, it takes anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes to create. All of the content that you're seeing here is customizable, deletable, addable. You can show the agents, I'll show you where to do it, where they can write their own bio. They can change the way the contact screen looks. It's fully customizable to them. I'm getting a note you can only see half of the reports. I apologize about that. Let me... Hopefully that's a little better. Yes, they're going to go check. Sorry about that, guys. I'm seeing it on my screen and assuming that you can see my screen at the same time as well. So here's a map of all the listings in the area of the subject property. Subject property being this one here. It automatically pulls through the MLS in live time. That's the key compared to all other competitors. It's live access to the multiple listing service. It gives the solds and the actives, pulls them all through, and this is where it really starts to get some strength behind it. It breaks down the MLS information, and for any of you working with e-properties, the first thing I see is we should call this agent and teach them how to write their MLS description correctly. Look at that. It's terrible. Terrible. Gives the subject property front picture, a map, exact location of it, and then goes into all the interior photographs. Look how pretty that is. Then it compares it against this property. Well, for those of you who wouldn't mind just following along, I understand you're not able to see all the report in its full view. We have a recording of this video afterwards, and I'll make sure everybody gets a copy of these reports. Oh, wow. Let me try something different. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, we're just going to check. I apologize, everyone. So here you can see these images here, how pretty they are. And then we get into the meat and potatoes of the rest of the report. Now, once you've gone through all the comparables, the thing that's going through the seller's head is, we've all been faced with a situation, they've been on Zillow, they've heard from friends, they believe that their $300,000 house with shag pile carpeting and linoleum and avocado appliances, now back in vogue, are the latest trend, and that their house, their home, should be $330,000. What this has done, when we've been working with agents, it's clearly proved to the unrealistic seller, and this is what you need to talk to your agents about, is it helps the unrealistic seller, especially when it's sent the night before, to realize that whilst their home is precious to them and they believe their home is worth $330,000, there's often bigger, better, nicer offered for less. And that's the key, and that's what the MLS system, their comparative market analysis, doesn't do for your agent partner. Okay, so if you guys can just bear with me while we go through this, I understand you're still not able to see it fully. I don't know why that is. We'll have to call the GoToMeeting company and figure out what's going on. I apologize. But let's just go through so you can get the audio content and follow along a little bit, and then we'll send out the recording that I'm doing off the screen in full video for you so you can review it. But most of you on the call are pretty much smart enough to know how to figure this out and probably will have already played with it before you get the recording. So getting through this report, you can customize the number of properties. You can customize what properties are on here so that the reports can be a little smaller. But here's where the agent wants to spend most of their time talking about the comparative property statistics, what's selling, why they're selling at the price that they're at. This is probably the most valuable tool of any part of this presentation that makes all the agents giddy, is the ability to compare how off Zillow is to actual sold price. It's off 2%, 7%, 20% in this particular case. So the average for this market is that Zillow is off by 5%. That's usually, as you and I know, what the seller tries to sell the house for in the beginning over market, just to test the market with. So it's a very powerful sales tool to help the agent come in and show that they really are in command of the local market in terms of values. Here's the sold property analysis, list versus sold price. There are now documents that the agents can add in, subtract, delete, completely customize. Some agents like to talk about how commission is distributed, why you need a real estate professional, the intelligent pricing and timing, why they need to price, where they need to price, what percentage of buyers come through at the beginning. So it makes it all very relevant and current. Here's one about curb appeal. And as you guys get more and more familiar with it, you'll decide what you like and what you don't like. As far as AmeriFirst is concerned, you will have a drop down in there that will say AmeriFirst that your agent will be able to pick, that will actually have your information, your live link to your loan application because of that realtor referral, so the seller can actually start being introduced to you. Our whole goal with this was to say, Mr. Seller, my loan officer helps me with my marketing, be it property sites, the CMA, and perhaps you might give them a chance on your next move to try them out for a loan, and most importantly, allow them to be the lender of record for this property for any pre-qualifications coming through, so that we will have them pre-approve them before we accept any contracts. So that's kind of the sales pitch that we've wrapped it all up in, and using this valuable tool of saying to the listing agent, hey, we want to crack at all those buyers. Please, have the seller agree to do that so that we can pre-qualify any buyers on the property. So hopefully you guys appreciate where we're trying to take this for you. So most of you right now are probably saying, okay, Mark, great, got it. It's a bunch of PDFs that I can't actually see on the screen because it's squished down to like 1 millimeter now, according to Julie. Makes me feel kind of strange. But what I want to do is, hopefully you can see how to sign up an agent, and you've already received a link, but I want to walk you through the process. And there's a big caveat that I really, really want all of you to think hard about. There are many, many agents out there who will hear that you've got something potentially for free, that they're going to tell you all sorts of stuff, and they want the link, and they're going to call you up on a Saturday at 10 o'clock at night and go, I got a listing tomorrow, I really need that Cloudcma. Send me the link. Guys, we're investing thousands of dollars in this technology. Do not give it away. Please don't. And one of the things we have to have you do is we have to have you, when you sign up an agent, have them sign and acknowledge, actually check a box, and acknowledge that we are sponsoring this for them. Don't let the agent berate you in getting the link for free. It's about building relationships. It is so important to us to build those deep, deep relationships with our agent partners. I would highly recommend that you go back to your current database of agents and just use Cloudcma as a talking point to meet them for a cup of coffee, show them it, and sign them up and get deeper with their business before you go out offering it to new agents to call you and give you Cloudcma. Focus on your current database, get 100% of the business from them, and then start branching out. You'd be surprised how much business is still left within your database that you can capture. So what we do is we give you the link, which I know Julie's already sent you out, and what I recommend is how I've been doing it is meeting an agent at Starbucks and saying, hey, I'd be happy to walk you through Cloudcma, I want to train you, and when we meet, I'll sign you up for it. So when you meet with the agent, you click on your link in front of them, and you simply have them fill in their name, first name, last name, email, and the state. And then I like to use my password because I'm about branding, and I give them loans, the number 2, Mark. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to put it up. Loans, the number 2, Mark. And, you know, I see Abdon's on the call, so, you know, I would put Abdon, you know, loans to Abdon. However you want to do it, because every time they type it in, you're branding yourself. So this is what I like to do. Okay, cool. Now, once they've filled this out, this is the first part of the sign up. I want you to click this before you have them click on this. And there's a terms of service window that's going to pop up. This is the cloudcma.com terms of service. At the very bottom here is additional agreement and additional terms of use Cloudcma. Please have them read this with you. It's important. That's what corporate counsel wants us to do so that we're protected from any of our competitors saying that we're doing anything that could be remotely viewed as less than ultimately professional. So I want you to spend some time with them explaining, you know, our competitors are upset we're taking market share because we provide these products for our clients, and have them read this disclosure. They're in the business of disclosures. They will not take umbrage with it. In fact, we've had a few people say, wow, that's a really smart idea. Once they've done that, they can click here. I'm going to put this in so it'll work. And here. Quick place order. Oh, my email's already been taken. That's interesting. There we go. Let's try that one. Okay, so you're immediately directed to the second window. The second window is something that they can continue to fill out because you're now setting up an account for them. What I do is I just simply click past this section, let them go back later. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of explaining how to use this as a prospecting tool. Most agents who have had Cloudcma in the past or have paid for it in the past never took the time to learn the ability of using it as a business building tool. They just thought it was a listing presentation tool. So that's where I want to spend a lot of the time. You simply pop in here under MLS credentials, and you can pick Arizona Regional, Phoenix, Green Valley. If you're up in Prescott and you've got an agent Prescott, you send them up to Prescott. You can see they're pretty much everywhere. They're all over the United States. So we're just going to pick Phoenix, and then this is where you want to flip over the computer to them and have them put in their MLS ID, that is their private ID for MLS, and their current MLS password. Don't forget that MLS passwords change every 90 days, so that's their current password. Click Save and Finish. And then you have set them up with an account. What I'm going to do is I'm already in an account. The first thing that they're going to land on is a home page, and it's going to look exactly like this. Hopefully everyone can see that. And there's a play button to watch some videos. It explains what's going on, how to create reports. There's daily webinars. There's so much product support, it's crazy. You could actually walk away right now and let them figure it out themselves, but as you know, that's not what we do. Take them to the thing that they're most interested in, which is the CMA section. You'll see here it says create a new CMA. Oh. My apologies, gang. I have to sign out and then log in. Won't take me a second. Okay. So when the agent comes in, they'll see their latest activity. They made a CMA, a flyer, and a property report. We go into CMA, create a new CMA, and I think you guys will be blown away when you see how quick this is. Thanks for Bugs Bunny. Now, simple dashboard. You create the client's name. You can put notes. The notes are not seen by the client. You can put in the subject property that you're going to be doing your listing on. Okay, so think about this, guys. They're on a listing presentation. They're going to see 1234 Easy Street. They can go into here and start typing away. So let me show you what that looks like. You'll notice as you start typing, because they have MLS access, it starts pulling up the address, which is a really neat feature. Look at that. There it is. Now, you could also upload your own particular picture. You can also do different types of property, which is kind of cool. We're just going to leave it on residential. And they can put in square footage, bedrooms, and bathrooms to help with the algorithm that creates the listing price. Now, some agents like to pick specific properties by MLS. They can put it in here, and the report will be created by this. We're doing it down and dirty right here, so click automatically find listings near the subject property. Get at least 10 listings, and only go back. For the purpose of this presentation, let's just go back 3 months. The further you go back, the bigger the report. We can add more criteria, but basically, clicking fetch listings, it takes a couple of minutes depending on how many. So this is usually where I do my hold music. Sorry, can't sing either. So, and there's more. Nobody sent me a question. What's up, gang? No questions? All right. So, nope, still no questions. Okay, well, it's building it. And it will take this long typically. This is the longest part of the process as it's compiling all the algorithms and all the information. It takes this long while you're with your agent partners, but usually not more than 2 minutes or so. As you can see now, it's giving it a code. Here we go. So let me explain what's just popped up in front of us. It's showing the agent that there are 10 actives, 4 pending, 2 sold, 1 withdrawn, and 2 canceled. It's showing a summary of prices of $146,000 to a high of $435,000. You'll notice this box here says suggested list price. We always recommend that they leave it blank. The Cloudcma will create a suggested range, but we don't want to potentially scare off the seller when they open it up and go, oh my God, it's only got 200,000. That's something that they can fill in and justify when they meet. So let me show you what we're looking at here. So this property is withdrawn, W for withdrawn. We probably don't want it, it's temporarily off the market. So all the agent does is uncheck this box right here. Now it's disappeared out of the report. Agents really want solds and pendings in their report, but look at this one, it's $146,000. So the agent might look at this and go, well, wait a minute, I know that one. Yep, that's the property. Again, an agent who doesn't know Google, look at that guy. And I'm going to make an adjustment. Let's say it was trashed. And I say there was $40,000 worth of damage. The agent can actually go in and add $40,000 to the value. Now you'll see up here it's worth $186,000. That's a more valuable comp now, and there's a justification for that. Here's one that's sold here. here. Let's get rid of this one because that's not really a model match. That's not a model match. And then these are the actives. You'll notice active UCB, it even pulls that in now. That's under contract accepting backups. That's not a model match. That's not a model match. And the agent has complete and utter autonomy of what is presented that would be the most appropriate. And that's it, gang. This process normally takes an agent 45, 50 minutes to get here. All they have to do now is simply customize the report. They have all of these options here: cover, cover letter, agent resume. These are all things that they can customize and add and delete. Let's take this out. They want to explain what a CMA is. We leave that in. The true value of your home, a map of listings, summary of comparable properties. This is really, really good stuff. This is more than they get from the MLS. Online valuation analysis, sold property, suggested list. Let's take out commission distribution. Why you need a realtor? Well, we all know that. Intelligent pricing, first impressions. Let's take out moving checklist. Look at that. It's really simple. Click publish. And there you go. Here it is, being created for Bugs Bunny, as Daffy Duck's the buyer. And Elmer Fudd's the listing agent. Who else we got? The Acme.
Yes, the Acme.
Wile E. Coyote's the title agent.
Yes, Roadrunner.
Roadrunner. Roadrunner's the loan officer. We'll make Abdon the Roadrunner. How's that, guys? So it starts published. So I think you guys will be a little excited as I am. Again, your screen's really small, but when you get the video, we're super excited. Agents look at this and go, oh, I don't need a CMA. I don't need any help. I really pride myself in really accurate CMAs. And you show them this and they go, wow, I've been doing it the wrong way for a long time. So it's really cool, especially as I've been doing loans as long as I have, to have something for an agent that they know they want and they don't have and that they have to rely on. And you're actually speaking their language. You're talking to them as an equal in real estate for the first time, as opposed to that old relationship of being, I don't know, how do we put it? The stuff you scrape off your shoes. You're now an equal. You're a partner. And that's what's so exciting about this technology that we have and combining it with e-properties. Anything to add to that, Julie, while it's building?
No, other than just the importance of meeting with your agent.
Yep. And while this is building, I want to show you guys something. Julie was kind enough to send this email out to everybody. So now you've set up the agent. You've got them an account. We want to know that they're attached to you. Okay? We want to be able to give you a progress report. We can actually see how many they've opened, how many they've created, how many they've sent out of these CMAs and what type of CMAs. But every one of you as loan originators are responsible for sending simply to support@wrstudios.com the realtor name, the realtor email, your name, and your AmeriFirst loan officer ID for your app within Encompass, for your loan application on the website. If you don't do that, it's not going to automatically build a link within 24 hours of you setting them up. But when it goes to the seller, they can actually click on that link, or potential buyers can click on that link and contact you and do a loan app online. So it's super, super important. Get used to signing them up. As soon as they leave, send this email, or even do it while you're doing the demo so that it goes automatically into support@wrstudios.com and they start building your backlinks for you so you can capture leads from this. Okay? And so make sure, for those of you who might have difficulty with the screen, if you're writing notes, the email says support@wrstudios.com. The subject says AmeriFirst. You simply type in the word realtor, colon, underneath that, the realtor's name, realtor's email. Underneath that, put in LO, your name, and amerifirst.us/Joe Smith. And that's all you need to do. And the report is now built. Drum roll, please. There we go. Cool. We're We're going to open it up. It takes a few seconds as it's being built. And I know I've run over 5 minutes, but this is important. We'll spend another 60 seconds on it. But when I started this, with explaining, took a total of 7 minutes. What do you think about that, guys? Again, you can change the colors, but here it is. Here's a map of all the listings. Let's put all the solds together, explaining the solds right in front for the seller to look at. And now it's got the images of those houses right across the way from them that they've always wanted to figure out what was in, but couldn't go in and look because they felt they were being nosy. All of this in a beautiful, professionally prepared. Look at those pictures, guys. It's just awesome. Awesome. And then the coup de grace for helping the agent close the listing on price and get a realistic price is right here. Property stats, an online valuation analysis between actives, pendings, and solds, and shows how far off unsold Zillow was. They were out by 7%. And the sold averages by dollars and all the marketing materials on the back. And within 24 hours of you setting up an agent, the AmeriFirst product with your information will be built into their report as well, so that you can get the acknowledgement of having provided this for them. Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for allowing me the extra 6 minutes of your day. I really appreciate everyone. If you have any personal questions or have any needs, Julie can be reached at
jborman@amerifirst.us.
And if you guys have other questions of me, how to pitch it or how to implement it with your agents, shoot me an email at mark@awesomerates.com. I really appreciate you guys. Have a phenomenal weekend. Be successful out there and start booking appointments with Cloud CMA. Talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.